by a show of hands, could I get everybody to raise their hand if they're disappointed that David Pakman is a slacking piece of shit that decided not to come and only talks about politics on YouTube because he doesn't care about any people, especially black people?
That's harsh.
Okay. Look at all these people. Look at all these disappointed people right now. Aaron, can you just raise your hand real quick? Yeah, got him.
And plus, guys, Destiny smells bad in real
What are you
life.
talking
That's
about?
true. That's true.
I might smell bad right now because I didn't clean up after your mom. That's right, she's mad. Yeah, well, not necessarily. Well, yeah, no, every story's made sense. It's usually like a small person that doesn't have anything, gets a little bit interested in their community, starts talking to people, and then either like challenges an established old guard, like the kids on the college campus did, or like just grows like a following and then like so yeah. So I figured like yeah, that's just kind of what I'm doing.
Thanks, it's really nice.
One thing that I want to like incorporate into this is that like and I couldn't do it yet, but like do you watch my D&D at all?
I'm sorry, I don't.
I watched the animated ones. I thought the tapping team was really
Oh yeah. In D&D, every time we go do like a little mission in another city, I try to take like a side quest to like kill goblins or whatever, so that our family name is like a good name, so we get like new reputation built up for us, so that we get like better quests, people like us more. I had like a similar idea for the event, and like since there's so many people here, I think it would be really easy to do like Saturday, Sunday we were canvassing, and then like Saturday night or like Sunday night, like all of us do like I would say like doing like a soup kitchen for a night would be really cool. I don't think taking 80 people in and like integrating them is really hard. The only thing I think that would work, it's boring, but it would be like beach cleanups and stuff. Which it's nice, but it's like boring. Like it can be. Yeah, I'm very comfortable with it. Honestly, actually, one of my biggest triggers. But I think that like I don't think a lot of people realize like how absolutely a lot of people's lives are. There's a lot of truth to the conservative argument of like the white gated community liberal, and I see it come out a lot in certain arguments. Yeah, and it bothers me because then I see how disconnected some people are. Like I see a lot of people like make fun of people who are scared of homeless people. They're like, oh wow, like they're so scared of homeless people. Like they're human, you know that, right? And it's like you've never actually lived in an area. You've had to like walk home like next to homeless people because you have no idea how terrifying that experience would be. We were just in Miami and we almost got killed by a homeless guy. Not almost killed, but he like tried to fight us. It was insane.
Hey,
What?
I'm sorry, hold on.
I like doing like soup kitchen stuff and like interacting with people. Like I find it hard to believe that you can like actually see people that like come in and like nasty smelling clothing, get like a warm fucking meal, and after you chat with them for 5 minutes, like you know that they're walking out to go live on the fucking street. I find it hard to believe that you can endure that experience a lot and then be like, yeah, fuck the public option, we have to go Medicare for all or nothing. Like it seems so hard to me to believe that you actually think that that's like a good way to do things. Like, oh, like Republicans and Democrats are the exact same. And I'm like, dude, come on, man. Like these people are like fucked right now. What's wrong with you?
But when we first talked, you seemed very against like using racial terms or even like being tempted by like leaning on to empathy. Do you think we'll do that more in the future now?
Well, that's like a totally different project. If somebody were to come up here and like point a sword at me and say like, Destiny, we're gonna debate this topic, like I'm 1,000,000% logos, right? Like, okay, cool. Well, let's lay out the points you go. But like, if I'm like trying to like get people to be more active in communities and stuff, I'm not trying to win a debate. I'm trying to get you to feel something. So like most people don't function like you're gonna debate me into caring about my community. It's more like if I show you enough experiences on video and I talk about my personal experiences, eventually they're related to something you like, and then now you'll care. There's names for all these things. I wish you could remember it. It's like logos, ethos, pathos. Yeah, one is like logos is like logic. Ethos is that empathy.
Authority.
Oh, ethos is authority. What are the other ones?
Ethos and then pathos is the one you're looking for. Pathos is
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. And like, I think the best arguments are usually the kind that weave these like together, like very well, right? So like if I wanted to tell you not to smoke marijuana, it would be like, hey, marijuana is very bad for you. Like a lot of scientific studies show that it can hurt your motivation. My little brother smoked himself to death, and he never does his homework anymore, and it's horrible. I'm sure you know somebody in your life that's had trouble with marijuana, and then I think it would be important that we ban marijuana so that blah, blah. Right? Like anything that like weaves all those together is usually the most effective rhetorical tool. Sorry, but it's a waste of time in like an actual debate because fuck you should just be using logos the whole way, you dumb fuck.
I think that makes sense, but
What?
Walls are up when you debate songs.
Yeah, but I think of an exception on with only political.
I feel though, and I may be wrong, but are you not like practiced in using pathos because you use logos and ethos so much? Like,
No, it's a totally different. I mean, I can do pathos, but it's a totally different gear. I've got to switch gears completely to get into that.
I see you talk to your mom and stuff, and I see like the skeleton of what could be like a really emotional, like really appealing argument, but the way you deliver it sometimes feels like you're wrapping it up still in that like debate.
I've tried it, but it doesn't work, unfortunately. It might work over a long period of time, but usually if I do like, if I go the really hardcore pathos route, so I've done this before, so here's the pathos route that I'll usually try to go if I really wanted to feel bad. Is usually what I'll talk about is how I have an international audience now. I grew up loving America because my mom is so fucking nationalistic and patriotic, and she was in the Air Force. And I would talk about how like it's really sad to me that when I grow up, like I see how hard it is for people to afford healthcare, I see how hard it is for people to afford like an education, and I really thought this was the greatest country in the world, and I feel like it's not living up to my expectations, and it's really embarrassing when I talk to European fans. When I go that route, it's effective, and then it just makes my mom start to cry. And she doesn't actually change her mind at all. She gets really upset, she cries, and then we hug, and then we don't talk about it. Like, that's it.
But that's what I'm talking about, is getting someone to that point. It's still very, very difficult, because once you get them to that emotional place, you have to like convert that momentum into something practical.
Something actionable.
Yeah.
And that's probably possible in people that aren't like 65. Like, yeah, my parents have so many lived experiences. Like, yeah, it's really hard.
Your mom is a difficult example, but I think like I worry about that with you with other people, is that maybe it's something you still have
I'm
to
just gonna move
work
it
on.
right now. Don't worry about it. I'll move it back later.
I can, if I need to, I think I can do it. I just don't usually want to because it's not entertaining for me. But
It's not like fun.
yeah, exactly.
And if somebody shuts it down, it feels doubly awful. Like, would you agree with that? That when you get somebody to that point where they're crying, or when they are forced to accept the argument but they don't, it's almost more sour. I feel like
It's kind of like, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
You knew
Depending
you
on
were there, and
depending on how you've gotten there, you've also made yourself a little more vulnerable too. So.
yeah.
He's the person who hosts the American Democrat.
But I wonder if that's the most like lasting impact. That people sit there and they think about that. It's in the back of their mind whether they admit it to you or not for like a long, long time.
Yeah, probably.
Right?
I mean, one of the ways that like, so this is like, maybe we can get to like meta levels of abstraction.
Okay.
Is I usually, the way that I change people's mind is by forcing pathos with a relentless amount of logos. So when I have a debate with somebody and we go fact, and they look stupid, the pathos that's created in the viewer is actually like secondhand cringe and embarrassment, where it's like, this was my political figure and I thought they're really smart, and then I watch this like little gnome fucking man-child like defeat him in a debate, and now I feel really embarrassed. And that feeling is usually what spurred most people to change. Because the emails that I get from people saying that I've changed their mind are usually like, I was a big fan of Sargon, I was a big fan of Block 7, I was a big fan of Thought Slime, I was a big fan of whatever lefty, righty person, and they usually say like, well, when I saw you like argue with them a lot, they looked like really dumb, and then like that made me feel kind of like stupid, because like you identify with your content creators.
I had never thought about embarrassment as like pathos.
And so, well, I don't know if that would count as pathos or not, but it's not logos. I don't know what it would be, but like that secondhand embarrassment you feel when like somebody that you like is destroyed, like because you identify so hard with your content creator, that like spurs people on to like reconsider their.
I had just never thought about it like that, but that like when you explain it like that, that does seem effect if you're able to achieve that, which is the difficult thing, right?
Yeah.
Is to get them to see the loop that they're in, and you talk about how like you're worried that like you don't have it.
Yeah, I'm always worried that I'm getting lost in my own bullshit. I think I've got like a decent amount of self-correcting like systems, I guess, that I go for. So.
Is that why you take on people who just want to debate about the dumbest things?
Well, sometimes I'm just bored on stream and I need to talk about it.
Are there people that you feel like you're using them to test that? You're using them to like hone in what you're wrong about?
It's very, 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 very rare. You're really good, like rhetorically. If I care about that more, I probably ask you more of that. Honestly, it's kind of sad. The only person who like had a really interesting mind that I could like throw an idea at and watch them like chew through it and give me something to work with is actually Byron. He's Reckful. he's a very, very, very interesting. Like, we were really comparable. He was like, I'll say it now because he's dead, so he never has to hear me say it. Fuck him. He was probably more intelligent, but way less emotionally intelligent. So like, but it's people that I see whose like intelligences are like can be, I don't want to say intimidating, but like, wow, you're really smart. It's very, very, very like to be like how like Reckful is definitely one of those people. So yeah, it was really interesting to like watch him like because he's very smart, but he doesn't know anything about politics. So if I just give him like some random political idea, we would talk sometimes where I'd give him like a random thing, and he would just start kind of like talking out loud through the problem, and he would stumble upon a lot of like real life stuff where it's like people do that, or people do that, or people do that, which is like interesting to listen to him talk through.
What about that European dude that you talked to? Sorry, that's not very descriptive. He has a really, really nice voice.
Proud?
I think it might be Proud. It was the same person that you asked that question to about worrying that you might be fundamentally wrong.
He seems like a really cool guy. The only thing that scares me is that he deals a lot in like super rational, intellectual, like logical, philosophical arguments. He deals a lot in like descriptive fact, and I have no way of self-correcting for that. Like he seems well informed. I can't really say if he is though because I just don't know. So it's possible that Kraut's videos could be totally fucking wrong about everything, and I just haven't read enough. I don't really know. But I think he's really. I'm saying this as a caveat for why I would be scared of just like blindly accepting everything. He seems to be like working in good faith. And
Can you sit in for me?
I just think it's uncomfortable for people to think about that too.
But isn't like almost anything else just like if you're not even comfortable thinking about what kind of facts would potentially change your mind, like how good faith can you even approach that?
The problem is that like what a lot of people don't understand is almost nothing that anyone does that's impressive is ever happening spontaneously. It's very hard for people to understand this. So when I would play StarCraft a lot, nothing that I'm doing that like is really cool or really impressive is like off the fly. Like these are all incredibly mechanical like things that I've memorized that I'm like combining like to create something, right? Playing StarCraft at a very high level is doing music at a very high level. You're improvising in a song or playing a piece. You're not just playing it like live, like you practice it a million times. It's impressive, but like you're practicing it, or you're playing something you practice. The same thing is true of arguments as well. Like it's very, very obvious very quickly when I'm talking to somebody. Like if I'm having an argument about an issue, like I know this and this and this and this and this and this, and if you're like figuring this one out while we're talking, you're fucked. Because like 95% of my arguments aren't even like I'm engaging with what you're saying critically. It's usually we're just like moving to see how far you are down the tree. Because most people just haven't thought through the things like.
But you force people into your tree, which I feel like is something I see a lot of the debate people do that makes it difficult.
I don't agree. I think they're very good at engaging with a person's point. I do think other people will try to shoot. So like watching Demon Mama versus Scrub King, I think that they try very hard to get people to go down their like tree. I think I try really hard.
Alright, come on, chat. Sorry, Destiny's gone.
Remember to hit that like and subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so that my videos show up right in your feed.
This is my content, not his.